you believe all of these automotive Nostradamuses, we all could be driving one of these sooner or later, and in as little as 3 to 5 years. On this edition of Test Drive, the all-electric Mini E. Now, to kick things off, one thing left to do: unplug it. At the start of the test drive, it occurred to me I was about to put a car through its paces that can fairly be described as being akin to a gasoline-powered ride with less than a quarter tank of gas and no viable way of topping it up short of getting home to an electrical outlet. You see, the electric-only Mini E has a real-world range of just 140 kilometers from its 35 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery. The reality of living with an electric car, however, proved to be very different. In fact, the so-called range anxiety evaporated very quickly. By the end of the test, it was a non-issue. This was the first and most important lesson. The drawback with this Mini E is that if you only have a 110-volt outlet, it takes a full 24 hours to recharge the battery. The good news is that if this were my car, I'd have a proper fast charging station in the garage. Now, it uses the same 220 volts as an electric stove or electric dryer. That means that when you've got the correct charger in place, you can fully recharge the battery in 3 to 5 hours, which makes the car fully functional. The second lesson came the instant I lifted off the accelerator pedal for the first time. It was enough to mandate a complete rework of my driving habits. Normally, heading towards a stop sign, I lift off the gas pedal and begin to brake slowly. The need to alter my driving technique in the Mini E boiled down to the regenerative side of the electric motor's function. Lifting off the accelerator pedal slightly saw the motor begin to capture otherwise waste kinetic energy and use it to recharge the battery. Lift off completely and the amount of regen braking brought the E to a pretty quick halt. In the end, I learned to appreciate the self-slowing side of the Mini E's personality because it's the regen braking that extends the battery's life by up to 20%. Right about now, we'd be showing you a nice pretty shot of an engine being revved up and down. Well, on this electric car, there's no gasoline engine. When you lift the hood, what you'll find is an electric motor that drives the front wheels and a great big box. Now, that box holds all of the power electronics that controls everything. Now, when you get down to the back end of the car, you find the other half of the electric equation. Right here, this big lump is the main battery. Yes, it consumes all of the back seat, and so this thing is a two-seater, but it does leave a reasonable amount of trunk space. The electric motor delivers a rewarding 201 horsepower and, more importantly, 162 pound-feet of torque. The advantage is that the motor begins to serve up its jump from Rev 1, which breathes surprising life into the performance. The E runs to 100 kilometers an hour in 8.5 seconds, which is a half second faster than the regular gasoline-powered Mini Cooper. It also boasts a top speed of 152 km, meaning it has no problem staying with highway traffic. When you get into the electrified Mini, everything is very much Mini-like. Toggle switches, centrally mounted speedo, comfortable front seats, on it goes. However, where it's different, this gauge right here usually is the tachometer. In this case, it shows you the state of charge of the battery, and in the bottom, there's a readout for the distance to empty. The other upside to the electric Mini is that it loses nothing in terms of the manner in which it handles. The suspension is such that there is little body roll and understeer is benign. Factor in the tight steering feel and fast response, and the E has the same go-kart-like handling characteristics as its gasoline-powered counterpart. So there you have it, a glimpse into the future of personal transportation. Now, this Mini proved to be surprisingly easy to live with, in spite of the fact that I only had a 110-volt outlet. As for the rest of it, it feels like a Mini, it drives like a Mini, but with an advantage. It's more economical than the average Mini, and it has zero tailpipe emissions.